My name is Julian Sisofo, and today we're diving into the heart of Naples to make the real deal pizza napoletana. Now, this isn't just any pizza, this is a pizza approved by the Associazione Verace Pizza Napoletana, and we're sticking to the rules. On their website, you could find the full guidelines for true Neapolitan pizza, all the way from their techniques to the flour strength, and even the hydration, which happens to be between 55 and 62%. Now, pause your screen to capture this dough's recipe. It's simple and straightforward. But one thing you will need is a micro scale to measure this small amount of active dry yeast for this pizza. We will be using only 0.1 gram of dried active yeast. And for this 62% hydration pizza, I'm going into the bowl with 310 grams of drinkable water, which is at room temperature, from about between 70 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Now add the yeast to dissolve and give it a whisk. I'm using 100% Cinque Stagioni 00 pizza flour. I recommend sticking with a Tipo 00 flour if you're keeping this recipe authentic. I've tested this flour in the past and it's excellent. We will add 500 grams into the bowl and then on top 14 grams of sea salt. This is an easy hand-mixed dough recipe, and what I like to do is use a spoon to mix the dough until you see no dry bits. And as soon as it's fully hydrated, cover your bowl with a towel and allow your dough to rest for 10 minutes at room temperature. Now remove your dough, place it onto a countertop, and let's start kneading. Use the base of your palm to push the dough away from you, and use your fingertips to roll the dough back. Now turn the dough and repeat these steps. It'll take a couple minutes as we need to build the gluten. This is a long, low and slowly fermented dough, all done at room temperature. Once you work the dough for around 3 to 5 minutes, place the dough into the bowl and rest another 10 minutes. Check out the window pane test. We are almost there. Now knead the dough until it gets somewhat smoother. Round it out, place the dough into a container lined with a very small drop of oil and tightly seal this dough to allow it to bulk ferment for 12 hours at room temperature. To the touch, you could feel that the dough is slightly filled with air and it is just silky, smooth, and rested. Now let's divide this into 3 pieces weighing 270 grams each. And for shaping, press onto the dough pieces to get rid of unwanted bubbles. Now trust me, make the dough balls like this. Place the smooth face of your dough onto your palms. Simply fold your palms together to seal the dough. Turn the dough and repeat this step maybe 4 to 6 times and you will feel the tension within your dough ball. At this point, you need to seal the dough ball shut, and in Naples, this part is called the mozzatura, resembling how they make mozzarella. Now let me replay this technique so you really learn how to fold these dough balls into the perfect shape. Now place the finished dough balls into a tightly sealed container and allow your dough to proof at 12 hours room temperature. To remove the dough from the tray, sprinkle a small dusting of flour on the top smooth part of the dough and release it. Place the dusted side face down onto your tabletop and not into the flour. That is the mistake of an pizzaiolo. This allows you to round out those sticky edges into the center of the dough where the pizza resembles a circle. Now bring both hands together and press from one side to the next, leaving a 1-inch border. And turn and repeat this step until you have that 1-inch cornicione around the pizza dough. I mean, we're making pizza napoletana here, so if you want to do it in the style of Naples, try to give the dough a schiaffa, or the slap that Italian pizza makers use when stretching dough. This dough is strong, smooth, extensible, and just a bulletproof recipe for a direct pizza napoletana. In this case, we're using Italian peeled tomatoes coming from the region of Naples. These specific ones happen to be one of my favorite because they're not too watery and I love its sweet and tangy flavor. I'm only adding sea salt and I hand crush them to optimize their juicy texture. And one of my go-to mozzarella is the single whole milk mozzarella balls in the vacuum sealed packaging. And as a traditional pizzaiolo, I'll be chopping the mozz using a bench scraper. You don't want them to be too thick or thin, or else your pizza will get too watery and the mozzarella will melt quickly. But we're ready to build this authentic Neapolitan pizza. Luckily, my Titovan pizza oven comes all the way from Italy, made using biscotto Italian baking stones. And believe it or not, this pizza cooked for only 60 seconds at around 840 degrees Fahrenheit. The crust of this pizza was caramelized to perfection thanks to the low, long, and slow fermentation. The San Marzano tomatoes remained bright in color, crushed by hand and spread nice and thin, naturally sweet with the right acidity. And those spots of fresh mozzarella are like creamy clouds. This crust is charred and cooked to perfection. I'm quite happy with this recipe, and I know you will be too. Naples has such a strong history, and pizza dates all the way back to make that city so special. This pizza almost looks like it was cooked in a wood-fired oven. Let's see this cornicione crust. Typically, they would eat this pizza with a fork and a knife, but today I'm using scissors to show you the crumb structure. This recipe, in the simplest form, shows you how only a few ingredients can make something so special. And now I could really understand that the AVPN Association helps to preserve the history and tradition of pizza from Naples. Thank you all for watching. This video was special to me. Viva la pizza napoletana. I will see you in the next video.